Jungkook's cry shook the army. Not because of the fans. Why do you cry when you live? What exactly did Taehyung do to make Jungkook speechless? This shocking fact has just been revealed, and the world of K-pop will never be the same again. It was revealed that Jungkook's crying during the live was not because of the fans, but because of Taehyung. The truth that made ARMY hurt. Who would have thought that the tears that fell from the eyes of a Jungkook, an idol who always looks strong in front of the camera, full of energy when dancing, and full of love when greeting ARMY, turned out to hold wounds that are much deeper than just longing for. Fans? Were you the one who cried with him that night? Do you feel claustrophobic when you see him trying to smile in the middle of a face that can't hide sadness? But do you really know who caused those tears to fall? The question is no longer about, why is Jungkook crying? But, why did Taehyung leave her without a word when he had just returned from America? And the most heartbreaking, is it true that Taehyung deliberately stayed away? That night, thousands of soldiers cheered when Jungkook finally appeared live after not greeting them for quite some time. He looks different. Not in appearance, but in the aura that envelopes him. His eyes are puffy. His voice trembled. His smile lasted only a few seconds before falling into a long, suffocating silence. In fact, when he said, "I miss you," everyone knew it wasn't the only thing he missed that night. Then, suddenly, he fell silent.
Get down.
A long sigh was heard. And finally, the tears fell. Without explanation. No reason. There was only a quiet sob and a blank look that seemed to say, "Why was I left behind?" The camera stays on. Hundreds of thousands of viewers could only type, "Gwenchina Jungkook? Don't cry. We are here for you." But not a single comment could really touch the wound in his heart that night. And now, after a few days, a shocking fact finally comes to light. It wasn't ARMY who made him cry, but someone very close to him. Taehyung. Yes, Kim Taehyung. A figure who has been known as a friend, brother, and even shadow of each other for Jungkook. These two always look like a pair of mirrors, understand each other, support each other, and protect each other. But is it all just an illusion? The incident began when Jungkook had just returned from America after completing a series of long schedules. ARMY is looking forward to a wonderful reunion between two friends who have always warmed their hearts with sweet interactions and warm jokes. But what happened was exactly the opposite. Taehyung didn't come to pick up, didn't call, didn't even leave a single message, and more than that, Taehyung was actually seen going with his friends to a closed-door event, without inviting, without waiting, and without even mentioning Jungkook's name in the slightest. I asked this just a coincidence. Is Taehyung too busy? Or was there something he deliberately avoided? This question further inflamed ARMY's heart after one of the short videos recorded by fans showed Taehyung laughing out loud with a group of friends. At the same time, Jungkook was sitting in his room, greeting fans, and trying to hold back tears. And that moment, everything changed. "I feel like he's forgotten me," Jungkook said softly on live. That one sentence is enough to destroy the calm that we thought we still had. "I thought we were going to eat together, but he didn't show up." Immediately, theories emerged. Is there a difference of view? Is there a hidden internal conflict? Or did Taehyung really choose to stay away? ARMY divided. Some still tried to defend Taehyung, saying that maybe he was under pressure too. But not a few also began to feel disappointed, even hurt, because the figure that has been considered as a unifier, it became the cause of the injury. Why didn't Taehyung explain anything until now? Why did he choose silence when his best friend's tears became public consumption? Is Taehyung's silence a confession or an escape? What makes it all the more painful is the fact that the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung has always been a symbol of the strength of friendship amidst the rigors of the entertainment world. And now that symbol is starting to crack. Not out of hatred, but out of silence. Because of an inexplicable attitude. For leaving a person in his most vulnerable moment, without a word. That night, it wasn't just Jungkook who was crying. The ARMY was crying with him. They watch live not just as a spectacle, but as tangible proof that something is changing, something that can no longer be hidden by fake smiles or busy broadcast schedules. The anger began to grow. Why didn't Taehyung say anything? Why is he laughing when Jungkook is crying? Does Taehyung still care? Those questions filled social media, resonated in online communities, and continue to be a stifling mystery. Even now, Taehyung has not yet given a clarification. No apologies. No explanation. There is no attempt to relieve a wounded heart. I guess this is a sign that they are no longer together. However, behind all the disappointment, there is still a small hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, they just need time. Maybe Taehyung himself is hurt. Maybe he's not ready to talk. Or maybe he was looking for a way to fix everything in his own way. But time never waits. And wounds left untreated will rot. Are we going to see an apology? Or is it just confirmation that this split is real? To be sure, that night will always be remembered as the night Jungkook cried. Not because he lost his fans, but because he lost someone he believed he would never leave. And now, we can all just wait. Waiting to see if Taehyung will come back, or letting that wound become a memory that never heals. But wait, is this the first time Taehyung has been seen away from Jungkook? For those who followed the journey of the two from the beginning, a small separation between them was no stranger. There was a time when the two looked different. Jungkook was more reserved, Taehyung was more often with other people. However, they always come back, like two magnets that can't really repel each other. And ARMY has always believed, no matter how far apart they are, the two will find a way to be together again. But that night, it felt different, not only because Jungkook was crying, but because this time there was no attempt from Taehyung to explain anything. As it were, he chose to completely abandon something or someone. And that's what makes the ARMY feel cornered. Because if these two best friends who have been a symbol of togetherness for years can be separated without warning, then who else can they trust? A flashback to that day, a few hours before Jungkook went live, a fairly trusted fanbase account uploaded a candid photo of Taehyung laughing with his friends in an exclusive location. They are preparing for a prestigious event that is not announced to the public. No HYB staff were present. There was no sign that it was official activity. But obviously, they look very relaxed. Even too relaxed for someone who should know that his best friend has just come home from a long trip. Jungkook himself had mentioned in one of his previous broadcasts that he was looking forward to eating with someone very close after he returned to Korea. Now it's clear. That person is Taehyung. I asked, this just a misunderstanding of time? Or is it that Jungkook was deliberately abandoned? One anonymous source claiming to be part of HYB's internal crew even provided a shocking leak. He said, Jungkook had contacted someone when he got off the airport. He waited a long time in the parking lot, but no one came. This fact is thrilling. If it's true that Jungkook waited for Taehyung and not a single message came back from his best friend, then obviously, the betrayal was real. Not out of hatred, but out of indifference. And sometimes, it's much more painful. Some armies even trace the time and location carefully. They matched the arrival time of Jungkook's plane, the live location a few hours later, and photos and footage of Taehyung heading to the event. And the results. All the data lead to one sad conclusion. Taehyung did know that Jungkook came home that day, but chose not to see him. Why? What really happened between them? Is Taehyung deliberately moving away because there are certain feelings he can't express? Or could this be part of a conflict that has been hidden for a long time and is only now beginning to open up? We cannot close our eyes that lately. The interaction between the two is indeed bland. No more intense jokes, no mutual understanding looks. Even in promotional content, the two seem to keep their distance. But ARMY always thought it was part of a management strategy until that night proved that maybe the cracks between them had been there for a long time. And does HYB know about this? Another question that now arises is, why didn't the agency clarify? Why was Jungkook's cry allowed to become the subject of wild speculation without the slightest protection? Hasn't HYB been very careful about the image and emotions of the members? Or is this intentional to create a sensation? One theory that has grown among fans is that HYB may have known of the internal conflict between the two, but let it become part of the indirect narrative as a way of maintaining public attention. This theory became even more plausible after some Media Watch accounts found that Jungkook's live video was not taken down, even highlighted in several entertainment news channels. If so, then it's not just a personal matter. This is deliberate manipulation of emotions, and it is the ARMY that is the victim. They cried with Jungkook. They're mad at Taehyung, and they're confused. Who to believe? On the other hand, Taehyung's silence continues to pose puzzles. He stays active on social media, uploading photos with his friends, promoting his personal projects, and even giving likes to some posts that have nothing to do with Jungkook. No regrets. No apologies. There was no hint that he saw the live cry as anything serious, or could it be a form of denial? Taehyung's way of protecting himself from something bigger. We all know the pressure they are under. Sometimes, they have to choose to ignore their own feelings in order to survive amid public expectations. But when it makes them hurt each other, is that fame still worth keeping? Jungkook's cry that night had become symbolic, that even someone as strong as him could collapse if the person he trusted the most chose not to be present in the moment he needed the most. And we can only watch, ask questions, and wait for answers. But the most troubling question now is, was it true that there wasn't a single message Taehyung sent to Jungkook that night? Unfortunately, based on the recognition of fan sites who have watched the two together closely, they call something more surprising. One of them, with his identity disguised for safety, claimed to have seen Jungkook typing a long message while sitting alone in the car, shortly after arriving in Korea. He looks doubtful. Type, then delete. Typing again. Staring at the screen. Saving phone. And then silence with a blank look. Was the message finally sent? And if so, did Taehyung really read it? Some ARMY believed that there was a message being sent, and that was what triggered Jungkook's emotions in his live broadcast. One theory is that the message was very simple, but touching. I'm home. Where are you? And when there was no answer for more than 6 hours, Jungkook chose to stay live, as usual, as if nothing had happened. But the camera can never be lied to. There was a wound in Jungkook's eye that he couldn't cover. He tried to joke, tried to greet the fans one by one, but there was a long pause between his words. And when he started talking about how he felt incomplete, that night it all broke down. Tears are not just about loss. The cry is a subtle form of betrayal that slowly pierces, without sound, but deeply felt. And as the live video spread, speculation exploded. Various fanbases, discussion forums, to YouTube are full of analysis. Some tried to defend Taehyung, saying that he probably didn't know Jungkook was home that night. But screenshots of the public calendar show that there is no official agenda that day. Even some HYB staff are rumored to be on vacation. which makes the assumption of not knowing hard to believe. More surprisingly, one of the freelance photographers who was accidentally on the set of the event that Taehyung attended that night claimed that Taehyung had spoken to someone on the phone, but in a quick and firm tone. When asked who that person was, he only said one sentence which made everything more vague. He said, "Let it go first." Is the sentence intended for Jungkook? Or is there something deeper that Taehyung is trying to avoid? Now the mystery is getting bigger. Because as Jungkook's cry went viral, HYBE chose to remain silent. There is no clarification. There is no official statement. Even when the hashtags #ProtectJungkook and #WhereIsTaehyung were trending in more than 18 countries, there was no response from the agency, and behind all that, conspiracy theories began to emerge. Some army said that all this could be part of a promotion strategy that failed to control. That personal interactions between members were deliberately manipulated to maintain the relevance of the group, while most were serving in the military. But if that's true, then this is no longer a promotional game. It's a game with human emotions. Did HYB interfere too much in their personal lives? Or do they not know how deep the wound is until the live night becomes the most painful evidence? Some longtime fans even began to associate this incident with the past of both. A few years back, Jungkook once said in an interview that losing just one person from the BTS family is like losing direction. Those words were touching at the time, but now they're heartbreaking. Because in reality, he really lost that person that night, and the wounds left behind do not come from fights or quarrels, but from silence. Taehyung, who used to share a laugh with Jungkook, is no longer seen by his best friend's side. There is no Vkook moment. No hacks. There is no understanding gaze that has always been the main force of fandom. I ask, this just a phase? Or is this the end point of a friendship that we've always believed was too strong to break? Taehyung's silence is no longer regarded as maturity. Many soldiers began to regard it as a painful form of neglect. Because if Taehyung really cares, at least he can say one thing. Sorry, I'm busy. But no. He chose silence, and silence is the most deadly answer. Some fans tried to contact the radio where Taehyung was scheduled to be present a few days after the incident, hoping for a glimmer of explanation. But when asked about Jungkook, Taehyung just smiled stiffly and said, "We're all going through our own processes." What process? Cure. Or stay away. To this day, there is no reconciliation. No shared uploads. No interaction on social media. No live together. There is not even a birthday message when one of them celebrates his important day. Everything froze, and the public asked, is this just the beginning of their alienation? After so many years together, have they finally chosen their own path? Or is this the universe's way of showing that even bonds as strong as they are do not escape temptation? That night, of course, was a bittersweet memory. Not just for Jungkook, but for the entire army in the world. Because they don't just love the song, dance, or visuals of the members. They love relationships that have always felt real, friendships that are sincere, that strengthen, that give hope, and when one of them cries over an unannounced loss, it feels like the world is slowly collapsing. We all know, hurt because of the closest person is much more painful than malicious comments from haters. And if the person you trust the most chooses not to look at you the next time you come back, then that trust is broken. No sound, but destroyed. Jungkook is no longer alone. He appears more often on the official schedule, with HYBE staff seemingly managing everything. Taehyung, still active, but never said that name again. And fans can only hope, hoping that maybe someday there will be a backstage hug. There will be a discreet meeting in the rehearsal hall. There will be a message, either at 3 a.m. or at dusk, that contains only one word. Sorry. Because sometimes that one word can cure everything. Several weeks have passed since that night. The night when the tears of a normally unshakable idol finally collapsed. But ironically, time doesn't really heal. He simply closes the wound with routine, sweeping away the rest of the pain with increasingly dense daily activities. But for the army, time has only reinforced one feeling, that something has really changed, not because they wanted to magnify the drama, but because they could feel that this silence was no coincidence. There is not a single new Vkook content. No greeting. There was no reaction to each other on social media. Even in an internal Hype documentary mini-project, the two look like they are walking in two different worlds. Jungkook focused on music, on production. Taehyung is more often seen with fellow models and film directors, as if stepping out of their old zone. And when one of the MCs in a variety show asked Jungkook directly, "Do you miss someone who used to always be with you?" Jungkook just smiled. But the smile was not the usual one. It was a bitter smile, like someone who was insisting on being okay. He didn't say a name, but everyone knows who is meant. Then will they still be able to return? This question haunts not only the fans, but also other idol colleagues who know both personally. Several idols from different agencies even started to give covert support to Jungkook through Instagram stories, such as writing, "Don't let silence be a separator." Or, "Everyone needs a friend who comes without being asked." The messages look simple, but all know they lead to one figure. And in the very neat and controlled world of South Korean entertainment, indirect statements are the most subtle and deep form of rebellion. However, as time went on, one video appeared that changed everything. Not a public display, not from an official channel, but from a small staff member who secretly uploaded a snippet of the video on TikTok under a pseudonym. The video shows Jungkook in a rehearsal room, alone, singing the chorus of an old song he used to sing with Taehyung. His voice was quiet, as if repeating a memory. It stops in the middle of the song. Then, say slowly, I hope you hear it. The video went viral in a matter of hours. And what is more surprising? A few hours later, Taehyung posted an Instagram story. Picture the night sky, with one short sentence. Sometimes we just don't know how to get back. Boom. That's not a clarification, not an apology, but enough to make the whole fandom tremble. Because for the first time since that night of crying, Taehyung showed that he was conscious, and that he was hurt too. Does that mean he's sorry? Maybe. Does that mean he wants to come back? Could be, but what made ARMY hold their